Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This will be a quick tutorial of how I created this blurry sunflower field using oil pastels in the book Fairies and Dreamland by Denyse Klette. Alright, as you can see, I colored the illustration first and then left the background for last. The oil pastels I'm using are the Mungyo Gallery Artist Soft Oil Pastels 48 set, which you can purchase on Amazon. Okay, I'm using the yellow. I'm making my horizon line up pretty high on the page, scribbling some down below the line to make it look like there's a bunch of flowers in the distance. And then I'm taking the pale yellow just to soften the edges and filling in around the darker yellow. Also using this pale yellow for the clouds. Now, I'm just using my finger. I feel it works and blends the best for these large areas, and smoothing and blending all that out. Now using moss green to create those distant hills, roughly applying above the yellow and some taller bumps here and there. Tip, keep a baby wipe handy to clean those hands and fingers. And then using my finger again, smoothing that section, blend slightly in with the yellow. All right, now I'm filling up the sky space with the light gray. Using clean fingers to smooth and blend, but still maintain the other shapes. I don't want to blend so aggressively and cover up those first few shapes. And I'm not going to worry about those tight areas right now. I'll come back to those using a blending stick or color pencils. All right, now I'm taking a light olive and I'm doing another kind of jagged line right under the yellow, and then I'll smooth that one out. All right, that's pretty much it for the very distant part of the background. For the flowers, I'm using the pale yellow, making small circles in the distance, and then as it gets closer to the bottom of the page where they get bigger, I'm making a starburst shape. I'm then adding a little bit of a darker yellow inside the center of those bigger flowers, and then I'll blend those out. So you can use the blending stick or you can try some Q-tips. But the bigger flowers, I just use my finger, and basically I'm just kind of blending those colors out a little bit and smoothing out the edges. Okay, next is the greenery part of the flowers. So remember, this is supposed to be blurry, so you won't see much detail. I'm just going around in between the yellow with very patchy spots with this yellow-green, and then using the moss green to go around and fill in what is left of the white space. As you can see, it's pretty messy looking, but I want some solid fill-in. It doesn't have to be completely covered up. The green will spread around the yellow pretty good. I use a clean finger on one of the yellow flowers to hold the book in place while I smooth out the green. This time I can do an aggressive blend, but still being mindful of the yellow. I don't want to intrude into that yellow very much. You can also put down a tissue to hold the book in place as you move along the page. Okay, it's mostly done, so now I'll go back and fill in these little tight areas around the illustration. So I'll just pick up the oil pastel of the color that I need, and then I use a blending stick, the pointy end of the blending stick, pick up color from the bottom of the oil pastel, and then just rub it into those small areas. Sometimes if it still doesn't cover it good, I'll match a color pencil and fill it in that way too. All right, now I want to brighten up some of these green areas. So I'm using that yellow green and the light olive green and just blending those in. And darkening up the center of the flower with some yellow. And continuing to darken up those middle of the sunflowers, I'm using the ochre and a raw umber. Okay, after lots of little touch-ups, it's finally done. I did decide to smooth the edges of the flowers a little bit more so they are not so jagged. I think that also helps with the blurriness look. But overall, it was fun to do and I love the way it looks. If you have large background areas to fill in your coloring pages, please keep in mind oil pastels. Make sure you spray with a fixative when you're all done, and I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them in the comments. Take care and see you soon.